How's it going, world? It's your boy Jamie the Motivator. We're here again on the Too Crowded podcast, where I talk to successful individuals, asking them what made them successful, what's their philosophy on success, and how they got to where they are today. Today, I'm here with a very special individual. I'm here with Tye Credit Queen Burton. Man, for me, this is good. She's one of my mentors, business partner, and somebody who I've just been able to learn from throughout the last years. I've seen her grow. I've seen her retire, but then also come back into the game, because you never quite retire. You always just reinvent yourself. But I've seen her do some tremendous things, and now I'm ready to present her to you all. Tye, thank you for coming on today. How you feeling?
Better than amazing.
Well, you're looking good. That's the very first thing. I wish they
you.
could see your full outfit, but you look good.
Oh, Lord. Well, thank you. I'm honored to be on your podcast. You know, we have came a long way.
Absolutely, and we're just getting started. So I don't want the people just waiting too long. So who are you? How did you get to where you are today as being the credit queen of the South?
Really? So, that just happened by accident, but I'm Tye Burton, also known as the credit queen of the South, because I educate business owners on how to correctly fix and repair their credit and also get capital for their business. I tapped into the credit world by me trying to purchase, my own house. And in my background, we just know how to make money. We know how to get it for whatever we want, and we pay for it in full. So, I'm just ready to purchase the house. And the lady at the bank was like, your credit is not good. And I didn't know what credit was. So at the time, it was a 474. I believe it was in the 400s. So it was like, okay, these 3 digits. So in my upbringing, whenever something stops me from getting what I want, I always want to know more about it, because I'm not going to let anything stop me. So I started researching and finding out about this credit world and how it can open up doors. And so I started repairing my own credit and finding little ways to aggressively boost your credit. So within less than 9 months, I was able to increase it about 100 points. So, us, when we see leveling up, we're going to tell people.
You see that it's working. Yeah.
So as I was telling people, just as like, oh, look what I did, and this, and that, and this, no, I started getting approved for like credit cards and personal loans, things of this nature. So I was just sharing it with my family and friends. And then next thing you know, people start asking me like, hey, can you help me? These nature. So that's how I tapped into the credit world. So it's definitely a way to open up opportunities. And I love the opportunities that it do provide, those 3 digits.
Absolutely. So for me, I was raised in a household where cash is king. That was that whole rhetoric where you don't really need a credit card. Mm-hmm. If you can't pay for it upright, don't get it at all. Mm-hmm. Can you dispel that myth?
Actually, it is a good way to live, because you do have to have good money management skills to have credit. However, yes, it's always good to be debt free, but some debt is good. Whenever you're trying to get to a next level that's outside of what you have in your pockets, that's where you fall back on your credit. You're able to get extended capital to get that house or to start that business or to get that car that you want, that you don't have physically in the bank. So it's always good to have that. If you don't have it, don't spend it, because that's how you'll want to use your credit cards. Okay. But it's a good way to extend and level up without you having to wait and burn yourself out trying to get all the money at once. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
So, boom, somebody walks through your doors and they want to go through your services. Mm-hmm. What's the first steps that you can tell us that you put them through to get started?
Well, people, first of all, they need to know why they're trying to work on their credit. There's different methods that you have to do depending on what you're applying for. So I asked them to explain what is their credit needs. Are they trying to purchase a home? Are they trying to get high lines of credit cards? Are they trying to start a business or things of that nature? So depending on what they're trying to do, lets me put up, I call it the GPS of where they're trying to go. But the first thing is always knowing where your credit is. Personal credit and business credit is always good, but personal credit can get you, things a lot faster. Okay. So we do with my FICO. I'm going to preach my FICO. They need to pay me because I send so many clients to them. But that is the only credit monitoring service that will show you all your scores. Depending on what you're applying for, lenders look at different things.
Okay.
So you need to make sure where you fall before you start going and pulling your credit, because that also hurts your credit as well.
That's good stuff. So it sounds like you need to have a goal for why you need this high income of credit.
Exactly.
What you're trying to do with it, and what's the timeline.
Exactly.
And then from there, create a plan of action of what you're going to do with these funds, what you're going to do with this income, and be able to then go to the market.
Right. Because anyone, first of all, you got to have a plan on how you're going to also pay back.
And I think a lot of people miss that part.
Right. So everyone's preaching, get credit, get lines of credit, get loans, things of that nature. But if you don't have a plan, plan to pay it back, then it can be, a reverse reaction, which is debt. And you don't want that. So yes, you also have to have a plan on what you plan on doing with the funds, and what's your turnaround that you think you can get it to turn back, pay it back. Because think about it. If I got you approved for a line of credit, $20K, no interest rate for 24 months, the goal is to pay that money back within 24 months because you didn't lose no money.
Correct.
You see, so those are the type of plans that we go over. Depending on what type of funding you're looking for, we always try to find a way to make sure you pay it back so it's no money out of your pocket.
So some people will be in the mindset thinking, I need a line of credit, but they may need a credit card, and vice versa.
It depends on how they want to pay the interest back. What type of business they have. There's so many different ways of you can get capital, like you have working capital. I only recommend working capital to anyone who has e-commerce or online boutique, or they constantly have online sales.
Daily sales, a lot of cash.
Right, because the cash flow is coming daily, so it's not a big of a hit. But if you're someone who make your money once a week or once a month, working capital is not going to be good for you. Okay. It's not going to help you at all. But lines of credit, I like those because you can withdraw off of it as cash.
Okay.
Versus with credit cards, you can withdraw a little amount as a cash advance, but you pay higher interest.
That's amazing. Okay. So I know a lot of people say they do credit. A lot of people come into this industry. What has made you different to stand out in this, industry? One, you're in Atlanta, so it's very saturated. Everybody that knows anything about credit tells people they can get their credit right. And there's tons of organizations that will charge you $100 a month to get your credit, and they're promising so many things. So how has Tye Style been able to make a name for itself? I heard that you did over $3 million in 2021 in funding alone in that year. So how have you been able to maneuver like that and also make yourself stand out?
Well, for one, like I said, a lot of people, yes, they claim they can do credit, but they don't do customized plans for their clients. They do the basic 609 letters, which is garbage. You really have to know what you're attacking on your credit. So I mostly tell people, I ask them, first of all, how much do they have to invest in their credit? It's not to pay me. It's what you may need to pay off on your credit to aggressively boost your scores. So with me having that hands-on attention with my clients, of course, word of mouth, spread it out, because I give a more individual plan
and process.
Exactly, because everybody's credit has its own DNA. You can't use the same process for every client. So that's probably why, that is why I'm a little different, because you're not just a number. We sit down, we look at what you're trying to do, we go over your goals, we do monthly analysis, make sure you're doing your part. I hold you accountable of what you say you want to do. And of course, I want you to hold me accountable for what I say I can do for you. So that's really why I think I'm a little bit different than any other credit company.
Yeah, and I know, like in the past, when I work with the companies, nobody's calling you and say, hey, the first is coming up. Are you make sure you're in position? I know that's something you personally do. And then it's being able to have those personalized connections with other people within the industry that can help with resources. So I thought that was real good in itself.
Yeah. Well, credibility, when you have a lot of clients having good results, of course, that speaks volume itself. What can I say? I do take it very personal. I treat everybody's account like if it's mine. I know what you want just as bad as you want it. Correct. So it's like, if you tell me you want to do this, I want this too. So to see you succeed, that's why I go hard for my clients. And they don't understand how hard I go for each of my clients, you know.
Yeah, and that's not common in itself. Like, where did that come from? Like, growing up, did you always know that you would like money? You had a good relationship with money. You knew you always wanted to help people get to that level. Like, what kind of sparked that?
Well, I always wanted to help people. Numbers always been like math was always my favorite subject. I guess, you know,
It was my worst.
Oh.
Go ahead.
It was my best subject. Language art was not. You know, as you see, you may hear me say ain't or whatever. That's just not my strong suit. So I stuck with numbers. And with me being in numbers, it kind of tapped me into, you know, technology with accounting and learn how taxes move around. But in a nutshell, helping people, sharing something and seeing somebody succeed, level up, that's what makes me smile, because I have helped a lot of clients for free just to help them get where they need to be. You know, so it's not about the money, it's about what's going to be returned from you helping somebody get to the next level.
That's big. So now that you're at this place of success, like,
Ooh.
yeah, now that you've been on this end of success, helping so many other people being successful, what are some of your, you know, tips for somebody that's watching this young lady who's 20 years old? She's looking at this video. She's, you know, she wants to get to this place of financial freedom and financial wisdom. You know, what's the very first step for her to kind of get into that mindset to work herself into this level?
Well, this may be off subject, but everyone should really write down what it is that they want in life and in a time frame. You know, we always have all these ideas in our head, but until you get it on paper, you know, it's not going to go anywhere, you know. And then you have to make sure whatever you're trying to do is realistic. You know, don't put, I want to be a millionaire tomorrow.
Correct.
It's just, unless you hit the lottery, it's not going to happen.
You make $40,000 right now.
You have to look at your current situation and say where you want to be. And I always tell people you need to do 1 year, 3 year, and 5 year. And then within that first year, the goals that you want in that first year, you need to break it down in quarters, 3 months. I do all movements in quarters.
Okay.
You see me do the trekking in quarters. You see me do the wig shop in quarters. You see me do the CBD in quarters. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like my main focus on that quarter. I have to hit that goal.
That's big. That's big. Being organized, being structured. And life is in quarters. You know, every 90 days, life happens to us. There's seasons that happen to us. So I think that's a big gem right there that everybody can take with them. What's been some of your greatest successes and your greatest failures to this date?
Successes? I guess, you know, last year alone, like I said, I was able, out of this office itself, you know, 3 million, over 100 business clients got minimum approval of at least 30K. I done helped over 50 families purchase their first home. That's just like what I stopped counting after that. So I know it's more. So that would be my greatest success, because I never would have thought someone from the little girl from Decatur, Grady baby, can be educating so many business owners who are very successful. They're good with what they're doing. They're multimillionaire companies, but they didn't know the basics of using the bank's money to get them
that's a big
another
one.
level.
You know, I was in business for 12 years before I got my first business credit card. Due to you. You know, you got me approved for one, and that was like using cash on so many occasions and going in, you know, going into my savings for any type of business project. Anytime I wanted to level up or do any type of growth, I need to get a new machine for the gym. I need to do something. I'm pulling $8,000 and paying this right on the spot. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, I own it. It's good. And I'm realizing people saying OPM, you know, and I'm hearing about that, and I'm hearing, you know, okay, what about the depreciation of stuff? You know, am I doing other things with it? And it was just like, okay, I had to get educated myself. And in my space of business, I was successful and I am successful, but, you know, it's like how many other opportunities I could have taken advantage of if I knew how to maneuver correctly before meeting you. Well,
one other thing I can say is that I show business owners how to be business owners and not self-employed. You know,
it's a difference.
It's a big difference. Yeah. It's a big difference.
Because you're owning your job versus operating as a business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the only way that you can be a business owner is if you are using the bank's money. You know, other than that, if your business does not make any money or can stay afloat without you being present, you're just self-employed.
Yeah, and what they say, I think it's at least 2 or 3, employees
Yes,
makes you a business.
you do, especially when you're trying to get capital based off just your business credit, because you do have personal credit, then you have business credit. Just like you have a personal FICO score, you have a small business FICO score. So a lot of people be trying to build their business credit because they don't want their personal use. Well, if you don't have the right foundation on paper, they're not going to even look at your business credit.
So your personal still gonna get used as a guarantor.
Exactly. So when you're filling out an application, you're the only employee. You the CEO, CFO, HR.
Yeah.
If you're the only employee, then they know if something happens to Jamie,
You at risk.
this business cannot still function and pay us back. You look at all these other companies where the owners, the originators, they pass away, and guess what? It's still running. So that's why they look at your key players of your business, and if they see if they eliminate you away from it, then they can use your business straight along.
Oh.
But without that, they always going to ask for a personal, to secure any loan.
So I think just with that knowledge in itself, people should be calling you on that end, because I know thousands of people. Then I heard the progress is, a lot of people think they're not working a job, that they made it, because they're self-employed.
No.
And I know that's the first step, but being self-employed, or even being, a business owner, but being one person, you still are one step away from being an employee.
Exactly.
So I think in itself, getting mentored and getting coached on that,
you just created a job for yourself.
Correct.
That's really what it is. But other than that, yeah. And then not only that, in the funding world, you're high risk if you're self-employed, So people have to understand that. They be asking, well, Tye, I only got approved for this amount. But I've been in business for 8 years. Well, you're the only employee for 8 years.
Yeah.
The money comes from you only, so they're going to always ask you for your personal to fund whatever loans you're trying to get.
And then I think we all fall into that trap of all the money goes into one account. You're not paying yourself out. It's the business, and then they're not realizing that they're an employee, and that should be a payroll. And then, so I know, talk about that, because I know that's real common.
Oh yeah. So a lot of people don't understand. Well, business owners, when I say where's your P&Ls, the things I'm asking my clients is the same thing the bank is going. I'm preparing my clients for when they sit in front of a banker, or they apply for large sums, loans. These are the things they ask for. It's not just, your personal application, things, stated income. You have to show that your business is functioning correctly. No bank wants to lend out to anyone who's already in debt.
Yeah.
So your profit and loss is a good way, or your tax returns. And the biggest mistake a lot of business owners do is they write off too much, So you have to be able to be looking at these things after you have deducted. And also, if you are a business owner and you're the only business owner, you need to identify if your business can actually handle your personal lifestyle. You have your business income and you have your personal income. Are you living off your business?
Those are those real
so
questions.
It's just, that's what we identify, because you also have to make sure you're going to show, when you're going to a bank and asking for more than 5 figures, you have to show them a plan of how you're going to be able to pay them back. So those numbers are very important. Balance statement sheets, P&Ls, taxes, those are really the big boys, So I educate my clients on that.
Yeah, and I'm so mad at this, school system, because it's like they prepare us for stuff and they throw so much at us of what's important, and then we get out as an entrepreneur and we're dead in headlights. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it goes along with the territory. Yeah. I'm not mad at the game. Right. I just learned how to play it.
Gotta learn how to play it. Okay. So you need to talk about your one of your failures that you had. One of your greatest failures.
One of my greatest failures. I don't want to say that.
Okay.
But I would say the biggest challenge for me is being a private investor. I was the bank for several businesses. And I would just say be more hands-on. You have to, whatever you invest in, you have to treat it as your baby as well. That's one of the things that I would say was my biggest failure. I thought I can step away from my babies and it'll be run the same way. But whether I understand now why CEOs still come into the office,
still have that hands-on.
Because you really have to make sure at the end of the day, that's your name. And regardless of what an employee does, it's going to fall back on your name. So these are my babies. All my businesses are my babies. I'm hands-on, and I don't think I will ever step away.
So you don't believe that as you get to a high level of success of putting people in place or having, people that you trust put in place, or you just feel like if you have these people that are in place that you trust, still be the person that checks behind them.
You still need to check behind them. You still need to check behind your CPA. You still need to check behind your attorney. I mean, I would say those are the key things I have learned as a business owner, is you must have a CPA and an attorney. The higher level you get up, the more protection you're going to need for yourself and your business.
Right.
So until I find a mini me, and I do believe they're out there, but it's going to take some real time.
Correct.
Then that's when I'll say I'll be able to step away.
Wow, that's big. So what is, in the midst of running successful businesses, I know you got a repertoire of them, what is your mental wellness in the midst of, for me, I'm always searching out for that B word, balance. Man, I know I talk to so many successful people, and people want to come into entrepreneurship, and they think they're going to have the most freedom. They think they're going to be able to sleep the most time. They think they're going to be able to go on trips all throughout the year. They think they're going to be at every party. But it's like, I quickly found out that it's not the case at all.
No, so you work more.
I'm always searching out for balance. So when I do get a chance to talk to successful people, what do you do for your mental wellness?
Well, I definitely put it on a schedule. You have to, just like you plan time to show your face and work your business, you do have to plan time for that's not business related. I'm still a mother at the end of the day. And I do want a personal life. So I do plan out at least once or twice a month where it's like, okay, I don't care if I have to shut down the whole office.
Right.
I'm taking a break.
Yeah, because, you still matter.
Because I have had a breakdown. That's one thing I can say as being a business owner. I was not prepared for the growth that came so fast, and I had a breakdown. No one knew, but it was like I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, and you never hear people talking about like having a breakdown from the success. You always hear about the breakdown from the failure.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot. Of course, we can't get into it, but you have to make sure you're mentally ready. What I have to say, you ask for something, you need to make sure you're ready when you get it. I asked for it, and I received it, and I wasn't ready. Right. So that's why systems in place helps with, the more you can stay at the same level or you can grow.
Correct. So
as you grow, you do have to have check and balance and systems in place and good team members, that's help running your business, because you can't be everywhere all the time.
Wow, that's big. Wow. All right, so I like to live on different mantras and quotes. One that I live by is how you do anything and how you do everything. So for me, I attempt on a daily basis to always be perfecting myself from the little small things to the big things. So I'll put down, and I'm still old school, I'll get a pen and paper and put down 10 things on a to-do list. Mm-hmm. And it can be 5 small things, 5 big things that I live by every single day to keep me sharp and keep me organized and keep my mental good. What's your mantra and what does it mean to you?
I honestly can't say right now. I mean, I just know at the end of the day, I have been in worse situations and I'm not going back. Absolutely. So I know each day I wake up, that's another opportunity for me to fix whatever did not go right yesterday. I don't live in the past. I only look for the future.
Absolutely.
So that's one thing I do say to a lot of my clients when they say, oh, I used to have this. We're not talking about that.
What's today and what's moving forward.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So beating myself up, like how you said you do, making yourself better each day. Yes, but that can be draining too.
And that's good because everybody don't have that. Everybody's not going to relate to that.
Right.
Or have that personality.
Right.
For me, I'm so systematic and driven.
Right.
And I have to check something, even if it's a mental check, to feel like I accomplished that day.
Right.
And if that works for me, that's for me. But it may not be for the next person.
I have like small little things I would say I have on a checklist, like how many clients I need to touch bases with. But each day with me, I'm putting out somebody's fire. So everything can't be so structured. I may be sitting here doing a podcast with you, but I have a text where one of my clients is with a banker right now and they don't know what to do. those are the things that I deal with on, or, I be at a lot of my clients closing. So I can't just say today I'm going to do this.
Absolutely.
But however, I know how many clients I want to touch that day, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so you still have the vision, you still have a goal, and you still work at it and don't let it work you.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
That's the perfectly said.
All right, well, I think we've given the people a lot today. I want to tell them a little bit more about what you have going on outside of that. So we've been doing the Brims and Cigars once a month and doing the social gatherings once a month. So you definitely got to tap in with us. How can they hear from you, and what else do you have going on?
Oh, well, right now, what else I have going on?
Yeah, as far as, where they can connect with you outside of business or just
outside of business. Yeah. Well, we're definitely doing the car show that's coming up, and stay tuned. We're going to be dropping the dates in about 2 weeks. I also will be doing a money mastermind retreat or getaway weekend here in Atlanta. So stay tuned for that, because I want people to come and really isolate themselves from the world and stay focused on their goals, so we can have a plan for them to get started in 2023. So, and then of course, any other networking event, but you can always reach Tye at Tye Style. I'm here at Norcross office, but the GMT Academy shows all the different, platforms or businesses I am involved with, and you can always book a consultation there as well.
All right, that's good stuff. Well, as always, hope you had your notebook down prepared. I hope you took a lot of notes. Any questions you may have, you can inbox us, you can email us, you can find us on social media. But make sure you stay connected, comment, like, and share this video with somebody that wants to go to the next level. Remember, if you want to take your business to this next level, reach out to a professional. Don't fall into the trap of thinking you can go to your uncle, you can go to your auntie to help you out with your credit and to your taxes. Reach out to a professional. It'll save you a lot of time and be able to make a lot of money in the near future. So as always, I meet you at the top because the bottom is too crowded. Peace.